Okay, good afternoon all. I hope everyone is well. Let me have a little look. I did want to show you guys something. A trader friend of ours, you'll see him on this site in the stream sometimes, Artie. He shared something with me the other day, which I'm gonna, when I start these live accounts, I'm gonna start listening. Hey Speedy, how you doing, buddy? I did want to make a few of you guys. I'm sorry. I did want to tell a few of you guys about this bit of this. Let me find it. About this. Let's have a look. Get over here. It's tell you what, let me get a link to it. It's Artie who's on this site. H, how you doing, buddy? Artie who's on Frozen in Motion. How you doing? Artie, who comes in this stream, I chat to him sometimes, and he shared with me something he'd put together with some motivational. So I think he picked a bunch of different motivational things and linked them all together. And I did mention I was going to share it yesterday, but it completely slipped my mind because I was listening to. Hold on 1 second. I was listening to. Okay, here we go. Where's the link? Here's the link. So,
rise and shine.
Play it. Let me have a look.
6 a.m. and your hand can't make it to the alarm. The game.
Your hair, your clothing, your address, your spouse.
It's supposed to be black.
Your residence. But if you don't change your mind, the same experience will perpetuate itself.
So just type in
over
RTB. You'll see him in this stream sometimes. He's put together. I don't know if you guys can hear it. You probably can. I'll shut up for a second. Let's move it on a bit. It's about 16 minutes.
Something. Your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots...
Let's just put a pause on it. So, yeah, he shared that with me. I really liked it. And he gave it a little bit of a tweak. He's cut it down from 20 to 16 minutes. So I'm going to start... I had listened to it and I thought, sometimes you need a little bit of oomph, don't you, when you're ready to trade. Certainly, a little bit of a psychological lift, I think, sometimes. So RTB, anyway, if he's on the site anyway, if he's on the stream, I'll get him to mention it. But it's useful to listen to. It's good to have a little bit of a motivational, listen to something motivational. So, Sam, how you doing, pal? How are you, lad? Let's have a look. How are you getting on? Nice to see. Yeah, these are passed. So obviously when they go live, I'd gone from one contract back up to two, and then I'm going back down to one. It's just too much risk, and it has you get a big loss in a day, which you can do occasionally. It can sting you a bit. Just busy work, yeah. I think it's good for you, mate. Get it out your system, clear your head a bit. Do you know there was a woman I used to listen to, a woman trader, who it was maybe 6 months ago, an American girl. She went through all the emotional stuff. I think she said she put 10,000 in, lost it. No, put 20,000 in, lost it. Put another 10,000 in, lost it. And she took a break off. I think she said 6 months. I can't remember. Came back and started to become successful. So it just goes to show that sometimes when you're that et up all the time and you're constantly frustrated, I know exactly what it feels like. I think most people do who've traded before. It's just like... You're ready. It is like being in a bad relationship. You're constantly ready for an argument, aren't you? Somebody says something and you're off. It's very hard to control it. And I think sometimes a break absolutely does you the world of good. I don't trade so frustrated at the moment. I had a good break at Christmas, so I felt better for it. But yeah, it is good to have a break. So I'm glad you're doing all right, mate. I'm glad you're keeping in touch. We've become like a big old family in this trading business. The thing about trading, there's no competition because it doesn't matter. You know, it's not like your business is encroaching on mine. It makes no difference whatsoever. So I kind of like that. You really get to know people. Not been on the Discord or anything. Yeah, to be honest with you, I haven't much. I mean, you know what it's like when you're constant on your trading and obviously, you know, with your stream, you started talking a bit. You haven't so much got time to look. So I do have a browse. I have it on my head and I tend to flick between that. And I did have the Apex one on for a while because when we had those problems with Rhythmic, just incidentally, I managed to get that app working. So I don't know whether anybody's had a go at that with the Rhythmic app, but as soon as you sign into it, it cuts off NinjaTrader for some reason. It seems to stop NinjaTrader and it doesn't like having the two up. So I might have to do a little bit of fishing around and try and find out exactly why it does that. So, but yeah, these two are passed. You can see I did 2 micros on there earlier, so I'm just on a sim now. I was kind of hoping if we have this offer expires tonight, midnight, I'm hoping that they may get another 1-day pass. If they do, those two will just quickly. Those
Order
two will be ready to go. Really. It's okay. I was just going to put that down there and take it on the. I'll take it on a engulfing. I thought we may come back into this. It's hard to say whether we're going to go up, but yeah, it is good to have a break. It does free your mind. It gets too much sometimes. It overtakes your life. I know my wife said to me, she's really supportive, my wife, but she said to me, "That's all you ever talk about. It's all you ever talk about." Every day you're talking about it, and I've tried to sort of not talk to her too much about it. It's the first time she said that, actually. I do sort of get a little bit obsessed at times with stuff.
Order cancelled.
But yeah, it does feel
Order
like it
submitted.
takes over your life. So I've tried now in putting like a timer on, and I trade for 3 hours and that's it. And I stopped taking any trades now pre-market.
Order cancelled.
I'm stopping taking trades pre-market. I'm waiting to 2:30, between 2:30 and 5:30. The trouble is with pre-market ones, they take so long, and it affects you. It affects you emotionally, I think. So, who have I said hello to? I've said hello to Sam. Nomad J, how you doing, bud? Can you drop the link? I don't know how to do the link. How do I do it? Let me have a go. I'm not mad techie. Let me have a look.
Order filled.
Second entry short. I'm taking this. It's only a sim. It's only a sim anyway, but we've got a channel down there. 2 pushes up. Second entry short. I kind of like that. Where were we? Arty. There it is. We have had a bit of a fail breakout. So this is 2 pushes up. Bearish bar. It's probably going to trap some shorts there. I'll have to see how it goes. It's on the NQ. We've got a downtrend, a channel. So that's another reason why I like it. So we've had a channel break new high. We've got a channel down, 2 pushes up. I think that'll probably come good. I've left it for the 3 points because I am sort of thinking more about 3 points now. So I get my words out. I'm comfortably out before the lows. So I think that'll probably be good, actually. Where's the link? How do I copy the link? Copy link. Maybe I am clever and I thought, let me have a look. I can't paste it. It won't let me paste for some reason. I'll come back to that in a second. Oh, look at that. I think it'll be okay. So second entry short. I expect that to push through. It's comfortably out before the lows. And that's plus 3 points. It ain't clicked through yet. Maybe I shouldn't be too premature. I can't. I'll be shocked if it doesn't. Maybe I shouldn't have typed it before it passed. That bounced off it twice. I think we're good. I mean, it's a leg down, 2 pushes up, a leg down. It's not even a full leg down. I'll be shocked if it doesn't work. We seem to be coming into a range, so if we took another leg down, it's only just past halfway. I'll be shocked if it doesn't. Leg and a leg. Or it is touching 3 times. Yeah, I'll get it in a sec, bud. Wow, I'm shocked. It's touched 3 times, see, so see what happens. Okay, if that's bearish, I like that even more, actually. Leg down, 2 attempts to go higher. If that does end up bearish,
order submitted.
I'll sell that again, actually. Now, I wouldn't normally do this on a what's it, but there's no reason why you can't. Let's see how it finishes.
Order cancelled.
I'll sort it out in a sec for you, bud. Now look at that. It's bounced off that 3 times. Because these 2 evaluations have both passed. So I've got a whole fire now, so I'm just trading 1 micro on each because they've both passed MC, so they're ready to go. So leg down, leg down. If this comes up and gets me, which it looks like it might do, let's see how we get on here. Strange that, so it's clicked 3 times. Once it hit that 3rd time, I should have got out. It's only a sim anyway, so it's by the by, really. Wow. I'm quite shocked, I really am. Not that it really matters. This right here is the story of my trading at the moment. Give me a little bit more information. What you mean there, bud? Well, let's have a look. Okay, so we got leg down, 3-point target on a 2.2 might be risky. Yeah, see, I keep umming and ahhing on what to go. I looked at the last 25 trades of mine, and 23 of them went for over 3 points. So that was actually 3 points. And in fact, the trade I did last week actually hit 3 points. So I am wondering whether I should just go for 10 ticks. I know Thomas Wade in a lot of cases goes for 10 ticks. 10 ticks would be there. Is that 3 points? Yeah, so 10 ticks would be there. So that might be a better option, really. Looking good, then reversing back, yeah. I'll tell you something now. If I'd have been trading on a live account, a PA account, when it bounced 3 times, I'd have got straight out of that for a small profit. But I'm quite shocked, actually, because I expected a leg and a leg. To me, with this support over here, it looks like a failed breakout. And it is a second entry short. 2 legs back. There's probably going to be some longs in there, so there may be some stops. I'm quite surprised it didn't work. A leg and a leg. I mean, you'd naturally think a leg and a leg, but you just never know. So I think the better option for me would be going for 10 ticks. Yeah. I know a lot of traders do. Yeah. Does Thomas not adjust? Yeah. Well, I don't know if he does it compared to on based on the ATR. So the trouble is, the ATR gives you the average, doesn't it? But it doesn't tell you if you're trading a smaller bar or a bigger bar. You've got that sort of deviation, haven't you? It's just, you know, some go for a hell of a lot of points, some don't. So it's hard to know. As you say, PA would move to at least break even when you see it bouncing off your order. Yeah, that might be the best option. At least you're guaranteed you're not losing then, are you? Yeah. See, as soon as I see that hit 3 up and come out, I'd have been out there straight away. I'd have just closed the trade. See, I didn't mind. Well, as it's on a sim, I didn't mind letting it come back because you don't know whether it's going to come back, trigger. I wouldn't be surprised, trigger that long and then come straight back down. But you just never quite know. It is early days in the market. That's the thing sometimes. It's understanding what's going on in the market. And we haven't really had enough price action. We've clearly got a level there. We've got a level down here. And it seems to be holding here. And when we came down into it, tells me we've got a failure. Usually then it'll maybe make another attempt. But when we had that second entry short, it is a little bit congested here. But I think it's good enough. And it's certainly made, well, 2.75 points. Yeah, sim, I would have done what you've done there. Yeah. It doesn't matter on a sim. That's why sim's not reality, really. I wouldn't have let that come back like that with at least getting out. But I still got that kind of dilemma, which is what the best to do. You want to try, you know, I see so many videos where they're saying people just get out of trades too early. So the trouble is, when there's that much information out on YouTube, it can sort of make you a little bit confused from time to time. You know, it's like, because I've been trading now for a while. I got up to 16 stone, so I've been doing that carnivore diet, and I actually feel really good on it. But you've got people on YouTube saying the carnivore diet's amazing. There's studies out, there's this, that, and the other. And you've got other people saying it's not. When there's so much mixed information, it's hard to know exactly what to do because, you know, when you're in a trade, you want to try and get as much profit as possible. And that's the frustrating thing. Some trades, you know, do really well. I wouldn't call that a great trade. It's an okay trade. It's a nice trade. We've got a leg down, 2 attempts to go higher. Well, 1 attempt really, isn't it? It is more of a... I mean, the reason I was expecting, if we could get another leg to push through that EMA, then I think that would be an even better trade because we got a leg down, 2 attempts to go higher. And then I expect another leg down. But sometimes you get nice legs. I mean, that was barely half of that. Sometimes you get nice legs. I mean, there was quite a distance. There was at least 2.5 points further to come down on that leg. But, you know, sometimes the legs work, sometimes they don't. But, you know, I think what I try and do anyway is when I take an order, I use a limit order. I don't take it 1 tick, which we talked to. I hover it there like that. And as soon as it triggers through, I drop it. So 9 times out of 10, it'll come back and click you. So I've saved a tick there straight away. So if I went for 10 ticks, actually, technically, that was saving 1, so I'd only really be going for 9. So I think 10 ticks is probably the better option. It's probably safer. So saying 2-point scouts for when I'm back. That's where I'm most consistent. Yeah. So the ironic thing is, When I was trading 2 contracts, I kept losing my bottle when I've been in a trade for a while, and I worked out my average trade overall, my average profit over all those trades was 1.5. So I looked at 3 points, which would be double the amount of profit, and it worked 23 times out of 25. So the numbers there would say you would absolutely be mad not to go for 3 points. Do you know what I mean? If it works 90, 93, 94% of the time, and effectively you're earning double the profit every time you earn 3, you can afford to lose 1 and still be up. But the trouble is, when you decide to do that, you have to stick with it. And it would be typical, the first once or twice you do it, it would come out, it wouldn't quite push through like this one. So what do? You start thinking, have I done the right thing? So what I think I need to do from now on is every trade I take is give it a rating. Did it make 1 point, 2 points, or over 3 points? That way, you know, if I'm taking, I don't know, 10 trades a week, if I can take it over 50 trades, and if we're getting a 90% win rate at 3 points, I think it would make sense. Well, Sam's just said that. Yeah, you don't want to go break even too early because it can come back and take you out and then come back down. But after it hits your points, yeah, that might be an option. The trouble is, if you go for break even and it gets the 3 points and comes down, technically there are at least 2.75 points you could have had. So it's a hard decision, really, isn't it? I know Taylor from Top Pick Trading makes a judgment call based on what he's seeing. Should he take 2, 3 or 4 points? Now, based on that, being out before the lows, even if you took it 1 tick below, I mean, the lows take you to 3.7, so you think the 3 points will be perfectly fine. But there's no way you can know it's gonna bounce off your order. I mean, it's just complete. It's random whether that ticked 1 more tick or not. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. So the fact that it didn't trigger doesn't necessarily mean that 3 points isn't a bad way to go. But what I think I need to do now is just monitor each trade. I'll make a note of it on here or something. Did it go for, see, I always say 3.25 points because it's got to push through. Did it go for 3.25 points? So I'm going to start counting every trade from now over the next couple of months. Because if you can get 100, look back on 100 trades and say 92 of them went for over 3 points, you'd be mad not to take it because the numbers don't lie. So let's have a look what's going on here. Okay.
Order submitted.
I am wary of increasing my loss rate. Yeah. It's just one of those things, isn't it? You know, I do like 2 points, but then sometimes I see Thomas Way going for 10 ticks. I see, you know, people like Taylor going for a bit more. So it's finding that. Trouble is,
order
what
canceled.
I was finding is a lot of the times I'd come out, I'd have it set for 2 and I'd come out at 1.5. I'd start to lose, I don't know, a bit of bottle or whatever. Probably that was a lot down to trading 2 contracts. Yeah, it does, yeah. I mean, I think the best thing to do, if I'm not sure, is just to monitor. So if I make a little note down here, over 3.25 points or under 3.25 points, if you do something like that and you get to 100 trades and 93 of them would have made over 3 points, it's a no-brainer then, isn't it? You know, because numbers don't lie, but obviously, you know, you can toss a coin 5 times and it can land on heads 4 times. But if you toss a coin 50 times, it's going to give you a much better representation. So I think the option is just to monitor the trades, find out, you know, if I'd done 20 to 25 trades and one of them didn't go for over 3 points, I'm losing a point per trade realistically. You know, if it's 90%, for every 9 trades, I'm making an extra $900. I can afford to lose a couple or 3. So I think if I'm going to do it, I should probably do it the proper way. But what I might do is just go for 10 ticks. But 10 ticks as long as I can drop it on the close when it triggers through. So theoretically, it would be 9 ticks, including a tick below there. There's another option you could do as well. Is instead of sort of maybe some of that. Instead of if I was going to take that. If I was going to take that trade, say, there, so it's a small risk, maybe put it 1, 2, 3 ticks back and then go for 3 points. Trouble is, it's got to come back and get you then. It doesn't always do that. What do you think Apex will offer tomorrow? My gut feeling is they usually offer something. We all like to think it'll be the 90%, but I don't think it will be. What I think it'll be, I think if they do offer one, it'll more likely be the 80% off and 1 day minimum to pass. That's what they've been doing lately. But yeah, they seem to be losing the 90%. I don't know why, because, you know, Sam will know, being an affiliate link, when you get the 90% off, yeah, it's cheaper, but you make more money as an affiliate. So if you guys are buying more, I know what Apex are making, how much more they're making, because it shows in what you're making commissions from them. So, you know, if they're selling a lot, you make more commissions. It makes sense they're selling more, you know, they're selling more evaluations. So I don't know why they've stopped the 90% a bit. Perhaps they're just going to keep them maybe for special occasions. Yeah, I don't know really. You will get a 9 times sale tomorrow. Let's hope we get them then, eh? I mean, to be fair, it's nice to have the commissions and all that. Yeah, it makes us a bit of extra money. It covers your trading. But I've always said all along, my opinion is if you're a new trader, stick to one. Don't get multiple ones. Yeah, if you get 10 of them, I'll make 10 lots of commissions. I'd rather you save your money, and I'd rather, yeah, but obviously you say, you know, Nomad J, I'm not specifically talking about you. You know, you're more of a trader, but, you know, especially when you're first starting out and you decide to have a go. I never ever did more than what, you know, I see so many people have been, you know, they might have been training for 6 months and they start doing evaluations. It's natural. You want to have a go. Hey, Rodin, how you doing? But then they're getting 5 and 10. And the trouble is, if you're making bad trades on 1, you're making bad trades on 10. So you just throw more money away. I get the idea of building accounts, but I think the time to build accounts is when you can trade. I mean, I've got 2 here. The most I've ever had is 4. I'm sticking with 2 because I think it's enough. If you start going for too much, it does. I mean, if you're trading 20 contracts, when I go down to 1 contract there, my stress levels with 2 compared to 20 would be non-existent. I've only traded 1p at a time until I get a payout. Yeah, I would say the best way to do it, and realistically, when you're a new trader, I would spend 12 months on a sim, period. Trading is a lot harder than people think. I know that because I've been through it, and it's way harder than anything I've ever done. It's, you know, learning the setups and all that is one thing, but it's trading in the right context. At the moment, you've got no idea what the market's doing. It seems to be going sideways, so it's very easy to see a trade and take it, and then all of a sudden it goes in the opposite direction because you don't know what the hell the market's doing. And when you're newish, the urge to trade is really powerful. And you just take loads of trades when ultimately what you want to be doing is sitting there and waiting for the best trades, even if it's 1 a day. Much better to do 1 winning trade a day than to win 2, lose 2, and you end up down. So you're much better. People think you need loads of trades. If you can trade 1 trade a day for a couple of points, you can make a fortune when you start racking up your accounts. But the urge is, it's you know, if you look on Sam's site, he's got this this graph which shows you the process of. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get it up. It shows. So I won't mind. Where are you? Where are you? This graph, I tell you what, it's so right, this graph. It's bang on. Where are you, Sam? Here we go. I'm just going to nip on Sam's. This is Sam's website, you won't mind. It's a bit of advertising from me, might make millions out of this. This is Sam's website, 5Trader. You can see him down here. He's one of our friends. He's also streams as well. He's just taking a couple of months off. Clear his brain a bit. But where is it? We're at Trading Psychology. Down. Okay, this. I think this. Let's just move it over so people can still see the market. Leg. I'm staying out. I wouldn't normally pick a bottom here, but okay. Trader's Journey. Now this could be me. It could, if you think about it, probably be most of you. So I started out. I started on Pat's about a little over 2.5 years ago, and we seemed to have a few days of uptrends. So I was buying at the bottom, and I seemed to be winning trades on Sims. So I thought, I've nailed this. So what I did, I gave up my job. This was so quick. I gave up my job. Well, I told them to shove it. Basically, I drove 20 miles to work, stopped to get a coffee in a petrol station, and then phoned my boss and went, right, I've had enough. I'm sick of whatever, and I'm finishing now. I'm going back home. And I went home, stuck £3,000 of my own money in there, and lost it in about a week. So you get a few winning trades, and you think this is easy. Having said that, I had this little voice in the back of my head saying, surely it can't be this easy. So I had that excitement. So you get that initial excitement and euphoria, and you start to win a few. And that's when you suck it in. So you put a ton of money in, and then you lose it. Over, I don't know, hours, days, maybe a couple of weeks. And then you go through this journey of ups and downs. Goes like this. Then what happens? You get a bit of luck, but you get a payment, and then you blow it. And then you get a bit of more luck, you get another payment, then you blow it. Then you get a bit of more luck, and you get a payment. And then I think then there's a bit more of this personally, a little bit of this. And then you get to the stage where you think, and I've said it myself to my wife, when is enough enough? Do I quit now, or do I continue to put money in it, hoping that it's going to work? Now, I've said this from day one. The most difficult part of learning to trade is the emotional side of it, okay? Those powerful emotions you feel where your heart's beating and you're dry in the mouth and all those stuff when you got money in the line. You cannot have that exactly the same day in, day out. You can't have that same impact on you exactly the same day after day after day, because you'll get used to it and it'll have less of effect. So you come to this area where you think, do I carry on or do I quit? And then something starts to change and you think, right, sod it, I've just got to do it now. I've just got to stick to the rules. And what happens when you do? The account starts to grow. You may lose a bit, but then you think, I've got to stick to the rules. So the account grows a bit more. And then you get this. It's starting to work. So why didn't I do this in the first place? You get that it's starting to work. And then you get more of it. And then you come to this area where you break even. Someone told me when you get all your money back from a trade, and that's when you've made it as a trader. So it carries on and you start to take payments, and then you sort of mature a bit, an optimization, and then it leads to success. It's this bit where most people give up. A lot give up after that bit, because once you lose your money, you think, sod that. Some people stick it out for a bit and then they'll lose and they'll give up. Some will give up, some will give up. Some will get to this point and give up. But if you stick at it, you have to go through this. It's like, I don't know, joining the military. You can't just, turn up on day one and say, right, where's my cap badge? It doesn't work. You have to go through that, bigging you up, knocking you down, bigging you up. It's how the military work. They knock you down, push you, keep you awake, run you ragged until they get to some place in time where they go, okay, these guys are stuck about. That's when they start, you pick them up. And if you can manage to go through all that shit, you'll start to feel this little bit of a lift. I'm feeling it now. Now, I made a stupid mistake the other day, which caused me to get frustrated and angry. So I've implemented a few rules now. So if I lose one trade in a day, I quit for the day. In fact, what I do is go straight over onto a sim. That way, I'm still streaming. I've not switched off and jumped straight back in. The beauty of that, I'll never lose more than on, even a big bar than $200 in a day. And if I'm on a sim, that gives me time to relax, calm down and carry on. I'm only now trading between the hours of 2:30 when the market officially opens and 5:30. So if you implement certain rules, and I'm starting to think about the feelings I'm getting and how to deal with them. Now, with the emotions being that powerful before, I haven't been able to, but now I seem to be able to think. I can see now how this is starting to work. So I'm starting to get this bit now. Now, once I've been in this bit long enough, that to me is these P accounts growing. And it's important to remember that when you have those losses, it is going to hurt and it is going to feel uncomfortable. But you have to get away from the chart just for the night, because when you come back the following day, you don't feel as bad. I don't know if anybody else has blown an account. The following day is always better. You've had time to calm down. Those emotions have died down. But I feel like I'm in this little bit of a run here now, and I'm going to get to a point where actually I've got to 3,000 or 3,500. I've had some losses, but it's important to get back to sort of back down to ground level and think, okay, let's get back in, but I've still got to wait to pick very choosy trades. This is where I am now. So I think, take a snapshot of that. I have seen that before on the internet, maybe a year or two ago, but I think it's a brilliant representation. And I think if you look at that, it gives you a bit of hope that this is the type of journey everybody goes through. You can't skip it. Some people who might be mentally focused, they get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, they do a 5-mile run, they come back, they have a cabbage smoothie. They're focused to the T. They can go down the gym, spend exactly an hour there, lift all the weights. Some people are mentally focused and driven. They will find this, I believe, slightly easier, maybe skip some of this a bit quicker. But if you're like, I'm like most people, I'm a bit stubborn, and I don't tend to learn sometimes the first time. So I think it's really important, this cabbage smoothie. Yeah. Let's say I couldn't find kale and spinach. But you know what I mean? Those people, the people that really piss you off because they come home, they go, I've been out for a 5-mile run, I've had a shower, I've had a smoothie, I've read the Daily Mail, the Mirror, I've done all the crosswords, and you're just strolling out of bed with your hair down on end. But some people they're just born that way. They're just driven and motivated. They will do this a bit quicker. But yeah, it's important, that is. So just find that or take a snapshot of that, but it just gives you the ideas, and you can pretty much think, yeah, been there. But it does take time. It doesn't happen overnight. So just keep that in mind. I asked Marco how he overcome tilt. He said, after a while, you just realise how many accounts would still have you trade with discipline. Yeah. I honestly, genuinely, 100% believe this. It will just happen. They talk about the journey of a trade. It is a journey. And you can't all of a sudden go to Greece and say, yeah, I've travelled the world. I know where this is. I know. You can't. You've got to go to Greece. You've got to go to Spain. You've got to go to Italy. You've got to go to France. You've got to go to Austria. You've got to go. Once you've been around there a bit, you start to understand how things are. Do you know what I mean? It's a journey. Anybody who's ever really maybe, gone to university and worked and studied and worked and studied, probably something very similar. Maybe not as emotional, but it's important to remember that and I've used these analogies before. When I was young, in my early 20s, I did a little bit of skydiving. The first time I jumped out of a plane, I nearly shit myself. I sat in the door thinking every excuse under the sun how I could get out of this, and I did about 30 or 40. If you've ever jumped out of a plane, it is the weirdest, unusual feeling. It's fear, it's weird, and it's all a big blur. You can't think clearly because those emotions are all over the place. You can't jump out of a plane once every single day, year after year, and have that same fear. It's impossible. You'll get used to it. And at some point, you'll get used to it that much that you can jump out that plane and you're not thinking about dying or what they're going to say when they ring your mum to say you're dead. You can look around and enjoy the view. Well, that's how I see it with trading. We're stuck. When you learn to drive, if you ever remember this, when you learn to drive, you're looking down and you're looking at your pedals and you're looking at your gear stick and trying to think, and you're having a quick glance at the road. once you've been doing it for a while, your feet and hands can take care of themselves. They go on autopilot. Then you can start opening your eyes and looking around. That is the trip and the journey to trading. You just have to keep sticking at it. As your people tend to think it's just the emotional side, but as you're going through all this, your skill level is improving all the time. So, sorry if I rabbit on too much. I like talking about it because it's important. I know how it's affected me, and if it's affected me like that, it'll be affecting a lot of you guys as well. And sometimes hearing it from other people who are going through it, I think it helps you. So, I just say stick at it and your rewards will come. You have to adapt and train that mindset to get to the stage where you think, I just ain't doing the crap anymore. I ain't taking stupid trades anymore. And all of a sudden you find a bit of clarity and it starts to work. And then all of a sudden you don't want to screw up again. You want to slowly build. My trading, I think, is okay. My trading is good enough. That's not the bit that concerns me. It's my psychological side. So I'm kind of looking forward to having a loss in a strange way because I want to see how my mental plans and that are going to, how am I going to deal with it? Because when you can learn to deal with those losses, that's when things start to get better. So let's concentrate on what I'm doing a bit here. But it's important, I think, to talk about. Because, it is a tough business and, I want people to succeed. I love hearing success stories. I love it when people say they've earned this amount and that, and I love it because it gives me hope. So we got a leg down, 2 attempts higher. There may be a short here. We got room to the lows, depending on where. I don't think there's much in the way of resistance there, although we have had 3 touches in a row. So I'd like to see this high-low trigger. Now, is there a bottom here? I can't see one apart from here, so I'd like to see that trigger.
Order submitted.
So if that triggers, I'm just going to put an order, a sell order there. Because we'll have had 2 nice legs up there. Go on, trigger that long. Okay, I'm going to do it anyway, I think.
Order filled.
No, I'm going to say it's a bit far away from the EMA for my liking. Might give that an extra tick. I wouldn't normally got in there. But we've had 2 legs up. So I'd say there's a fair chance that's going to hit that. Another reason I like it is this. We've just come off a lot closer to there. So that for me is more likely going to come down. So that's another reason I think it'll be okay.
Target filled.
I'd have preferred that to tick up, but we have got 2 clear legs up. So I think there was a fair chance that was going to work. It is sort of like a what's it trade, isn't it? A penguin style trade, leg down, 2 attempts higher. That's another reason why, because if I don't think that's close enough, but this is looking really bearish, then sometimes I'll jump in. Because I see Mac taking these sometimes and I think, it's a bit far away from me. But if I'm looking at a nice big bearish bar right at the EMA, that might look better than this, and I think that's going to work, chances are this will follow it. So it's another reason why I like using that. So we're here, but there are rooms to the lows. There's no other real area that I've put, which is a shame there, really. I could have had 2 points there and whatever there, but that, same again, would have made comfortably 3 points. Yeah, you'd have got 3 points out of that. There's 3 points. See, the weird thing is you hold for 3 points there and decide, okay, let's go for 10 ticks, and the next one goes for 3 points. So I think whatever you decide to do, you need to just stick at it and play the numbers. So what I'm going to do is go for 10 ticks for now. If I I change that? Yeah, I have. Let's go for 10 ticks for now. And then just monitor how many times it works. And if it's working 95% of the time, the over 3 points, I think it makes sense to climb. So we'll say, terrible news about King Charles. Yeah, how bad is it? Is it serious? Because obviously, you know, cancer doesn't necessarily spell the end, does it? I tried to have a little bit of Google about it, but it's not giving you much information. But I suppose the thing is, he's got the best medical care, isn't he? He's not going to get treated like the rest of us poor saps, is he? But yeah, it is a shame if it is. Trouble is, he's 70-something, 70 odd. Happens a lot. It happened to my mum, 74, just over a year ago. Yeah, I don't know how serious it is. I dare say we'll find out in the coming days, won't we? But mind you, Harry's flown over, or he's flying over, isn't he? So you tend to think it's probably serious-ish, don't you? But yeah, Indy, how you doing, mate? How you doing? But yeah, I don't like to hear anybody with stuff like that. I saw what it did to my mum. It's horrible. You know, the weird thing is, the biggest killer is heart disease, but you don't really stress and worry about that so much, do you? It's the big C. That's the scary bit. It's because what it makes you look like. You lose weight, you lose your hair. It just literally, you're almost dying on it. I don't want to talk about it too much in case anybody's going through that now, but it's not pleasant for anyone. It's a cruel way to go, in my opinion. The sooner these flipping great big pharmaceutical companies stop thinking about profits and stop. There's no money in curing people, is there? Did he get an illness? Well, I don't really know. It just came on the news, didn't it? Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday that he got cancer? So, mind you, cancer isn't an automatic death sentence, is it? But I don't know. Who knows? I dare say we'll find out in the coming days. Do you know, since I started this carnivore diet, I've always had a bit of an interest in nutrition. Because I've always been a foodie. I was a chef for years when I was young, so it's always interested me. And I know, from reading and stuff like that cancer tends to feed on sugar. You get too much sugar in the body. And it tends to feed cancer. Now, the thing about this carnivore diet is it absolutely, more or less, it does completely eliminate. There's no sugar in meat at all. Obviously, if you start adding coatings to it or, spices and powders, you can have a slight amount. But I'm hearing more and more about this, the carnivore diet, reading more and more studies. And we all know, we've all been brought up to eat your vegetables, stuff like that. But, I've read stuff about vegetables. I know they have things like oxalic acid, oxalates, and stuff like that. If you have too much, they can make you bad. If you walk out into the countryside and start eating things that are green, more things are going to kill you than not. I think there's about 600 varieties of mushrooms and only about 30 that you can eat. The rest can kill you pretty quickly. So, I don't know, is this a shift? Is this a shift in... the way we do things? We do have these big moves, don't we? It was a few years ago they were saying fat's bad for you, don't eat butter, and then they brought, it was all margarine and spreads. Now they're saying those things are closer to plastic than anything, so you're better off eating butter again, better off eating actual fats, as opposed to all these processed fats. Magic mushrooms, yeah. I had one experience of those years ago, which I want to try and forget. Once only was enough for me. It didn't end well. Needs just to say I spent about probably 4 hours in hospital throughout the early hours of the morning. But yeah, much clean information on the king. No, there isn't really, is there? Separation concern was indefinite during his treatment. Yeah, I think they found something and they do an operation and they thought it was benign, but when they were when they were operating or something like that, I seem to recall that they found something that wasn't. So I don't really know. You trade on now, I wasn't, mate. This was a long time ago. I think I was in middle 20s or something. A mate of mine decided to get him. Picked him up one day, went round to his flat one night for a few drinks. Ate a few of them in a bowl with some sugar on the top that were boiled in it, and drunk some of the coffee. Next thing I remember being picked up by the ambulance, and the ambulance man trying to put a blanket over me head, and all I can remember is beep on the monitor. I thought I died. It was the strangest thing I'd ever experienced. And I remember my brother and my mum came to pick me up early hours of the morning. I took me home, got me into bed, and it was only then I started to come around and realise what happened. It was all like a big nightmare-y, strange. I had flashbacks about that for a couple of years after. Strange. I've never done a lot of drugs in my life. I've tried stuff, as most people do, but I've never done a lot of stuff. But that, I got to say, was the worst experience I've ever had. I'm not a fan of stuff that messes with your head. I know a trader buddy of mine, Marlon, that's how he used to come down from a day's trading. He used to have some mushrooms and lay on his bed in his flat. For me, that will probably be the worst place to be, in a room by yourself. Strange. Next thing is 20-point running. I have tried trading when I've had some whiskies, just to see if it took the edge off it. It was that night that I blew 10 evaluations, one after another. I think I'd opened a bottle of, what was it? Was it a bottle of Aberlour or something? I'd opened a 12-year-old bottle of single malt live on stream. And in fact, a guy made a comment. He said, I've been sitting quietly in the background for 6 months, but I heard that cork pop and my ears bricked up. I remember I just had one on a Friday, and we'd had the 90% off at the time. And after the stream, I just had a few more, and I thought I'll do an evaluation. And I was typical my stupidity going for 10 contracts. And I think I blew about 10 evaluations within an hour and a half. So that was the last time I paid my mortgage. That yeah, I use your code every time. You've had quite a lot from me, mate. Put it that way. But yeah. I think sometimes you go through this stupid stuff, and I think you can argue there's a certain amount of gambling involved in it, because at the end of the day, trading is exactly gambling. You're betting on an outcome where you could lose money. It's all right, mate. I don't mind. Can you use your own code? No, you can't. I tried. I did try. Are we coming off the bottom here, I wonder? But no. It's all fun, isn't it? It's all good fun, isn't it? This trading business. I got to say, when you start earning money, my God, you damn well deserve it. I was doing a bit of dreaming earlier. I was watching a guy stopping in a hotel. He flies around. That's what he does for YouTube. He's like the guys that go all over the world. That's what he does. And he stops in different hotels around the world. And he stopped in the something Al Rab, the Burj Al Rab, which is the world's only 7-star hotel. Everything in the room's gold. All the taps, the sink, everything is gold. All the metals are gold. Fantastic, I got to say. But I wouldn't pay. Was it about? I think did he work out something like a Coke and a bag of nuts was £90 English, something like that. Crazy. Okay, we've come close to the lows here, so whether it's going to come down or not, I don't know. I would say, based on what I can see, let's see if there's triggers.
Order
actually,
submitted.
If that closes below there, I don't think that's that bad, actually. It needs to finish really good, though. Finish more bearish. Come on. No, I'm going to leave that.
Order cancelled.
I'm not a fan of that. So here's another reason why, if you look at that, nice channel down, look what was happening there. It pushed through, but then it reversed quickly. That's what I like about this. This moves quicker than this. So when I was looking at that, that was bearish down here. So I thought, if that stays below here, that's coming down. And then all of a sudden it changed quickly, which kept me out of that trade. So it's useful to have this. Because if this decides to tank up or down, it tends to do it quite quickly. So it may still come down, but there does seem to be a little bit of a range there as well. So yeah, I was looking to take this, then all of a sudden that shot up quick, so that keeps me out of that. I remember studying for exams after Creator Bay. Woke up the next day with no. No, I never went to university. I went to college for 2 years, but I never did university. I was never that smart. Perhaps a failure, yeah, maybe. I went to college, catering college, and was a chef for about 10, 12 years on and off. I always enjoyed food and eating. Okay, this to me looks like it's coming down. That's an inside bar, so Max says I shouldn't take that. But having said that,
order filled.
I'm going to, because I kind of like that. Yeah, I wouldn't normally take that because it is an inside bar, but I like what I'm seeing on here at the moment. It's looking bearish. If I'm looking at the NQ, this fits nice in there, and we've had a break. We've had a bunch of times to go high, and we've pushed strongly through the EMA, so I think that's more likely to come down. I'd like to see that trigger that, but this looks like it's going to drop to me. I can't see this coming back up now. After this, it may have a little pullback, but I think this is going to coming down on the NQ, and if this is coming down, no, I'm just going to get out for a 1.5 here.
Target filled.
In case we get a pullback on the NQ. So, is that a 1.5? 875, 975, 0.75. I think it was pretty clear what was happening there to me. We're not at the bottoms here, so it would have made the points. But my slight concern is, because we've come down quite steep, a bit steeper than here, there's a bit of sideways there, see? That this may have a pullback, and if we do get a bit of pullback, it might, because that's an inside bar, clip that level there, but it did what it was supposed to do. Comfortably made, comfortably made 3 points, but I think the order of the day is probably 10 ticks. I should have left it really. So let's mark that there. Normally wouldn't go for an inside bar, but I don't know. It's pretty definitive what's happening. So let's just you know, a couple of people have said to me that after a while, just because something doesn't fit by there doesn't mean you can't take it if you know what you're doing. Sometimes, yeah, you're probably right, actually. I tend to never pick bottoms. So I probably shouldn't do it here, really, because if I did, it would be just a bit of a gamble to see if it worked. But that one lost, even though it went for nearly 3 points, which is strange. So what was that? 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 2.25 points. Okay. That one was 0.5. Shame that, really. But I mean, literally 3 points. There's plenty of room to the lows. I'm surprised it didn't work. But there you go. Sometimes it doesn't. So if we get a higher low here, then I might take that. There is a possibility we could continue down. It's just one of those things, Laffy. What the point of taking every setup you see on a sim, even though you know you won't? Well, that's why I left that alone. Well, that one I would have done. That one I would have done. I'd like to say that one I probably would have done because I was liking what I see. But I get your point. I get your point. I think it's natural in a way. If you're risking $10, you take more trades than if you're risking $1,000. So I think naturally, if you're risking more, you can't help but be a little bit more careful.
Order submitted.
But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Order cancelled.
So there is a higher low there. We've come off the bottoms. My only slight concern, there may be something larger working down there. I don't know. Maybe not. I certainly wouldn't be going short here anyway. It's a bit congested. There's 4 bars back to back. So there may be a bit of a double trap there. If it triggers below there are a couple of bars, it takes out that higher low and then goes back up and takes out that lower high. That's actually a failure there. Try to go once. That's actually a failure that's triggered. Which one of those I would have taken? That one I'd have taken. Leg down, 2 up. Now I went for 3 points there and it wouldn't have made it. But if 10 ticks would have done that one there at the time. The reason why I would have taken that is because that was the bar on the NQ right at the top of that channel. 2 legs up. That started to come down. So that tells me I think there's a good chance that's coming down. So I would have taken that one. It's 2 legs up and it's also a second entry short. And I like this. So that's why I would have taken that one. That bar there, 100% I would have taken. It's a second entry short. You'd at least expect it to come down to the EMA, which it did. I went for 3 points at the time and it bounced 3 times off my order there. So that one I would have done. That would have won. I know it's an inside bar, but I've seen Thomas Wade take a few of those. Just because it's an inside bar, I think if the context is right, it's okay to take it. So how many points does a move have to make before you consider it's not a failure? Well, I don't really think it... I don't know. It's hard to say. We've got a new high here. Try to go once, try to go wise. If you look what Mac will call that a failure, absolutely. Try to go higher once, try to go a second time, a failure. But the context is wrong there. The reason you wouldn't normally take that, or I wouldn't take that, that failure is because we've come off the lows. So there's a good chance this is turning into a range day. We've got 2 touches here and we've got a touch here. So if we didn't hit bottoms here, then I'd have probably taken that one, but I wouldn't take that because we've just had a double bottom here and we've come off the lows. So I'd expect that to push up, which is why I wouldn't take that one, the failure. And it's doing exactly that. So it is context. I mean, it is a failure, but not only that, this channel's played out. We've had a break and 2 pushes down, 2 new lows. So that channel's pushed out. So, it could start to go in the opposite direction. Another reason I think it would be going up is because of this, because it's likely hitting the bottom of a range. So the last thing I'll be doing is going short there. I actually, for a second, if you remember, put a buy order above there, but then when it started going sideways, I took it out, but it would have worked. So yeah, I saw Thomas Wade a couple of times take an inside bar. If the context is right, it's okay. So it is a second entry short. As I mentioned earlier, it looked nice here at the time. It was actually right on that, right on the, let's get it right. It was right on the key. It come right up 3 times, bum, bum, bum. Right on that line there, once, twice, 3 times. So for me, it's a leg down, 1 attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, big bearish bar that dropped for me, that's coming down. So I like having this to help make some decisions. Sometimes it can get you into trades, sometimes it can get you out of trades. And when this pushed this through, and this bearish bar happened, we'd hit a level there. We'd gone 1, 2, 3 times, tried to go higher, and we had a big bearish bar pushed through the EMA, and that's where about that was, which is why I decided to take it, even though it's an inside bar. And it did what I expected it to do. Well, not that quick, but at least come down and make a new low. But I've had an email to Mac a while back, and he said to me, when you learn to trade, you naturally look for ways to make it better, easier. You naturally do that. It's all part of being a trader. And you'll find your own way of doing things. And a guy said to me a while ago, instead of just taking something because you think Mac took it, or Mac might take it, why don't you take something that you feel that looks right? At some point in time, it's a 1500, bud. The reason I had it on 1500 is I think more people tend to use it. I talked to Watson about it. Karina, I know she uses it, and I believe Trader Joe uses the 1500. So I like to look at this to see what this is looking like when I think about a trade, and sometimes if I've made a misjudgment or something's gone wrong, you don't have every day, and below 17 emails. If I'm looking at a short here and it's above the EMA and looking like it might be bullish, I may have been trapped here, or I might have misjudged this. So I like the idea if they both that look bearish, and the fact that it touched 3 times on that line and pushed down, it was here at the time, was the reason why I took that. No failure triggered on that reverse at the bottom. Yeah, I thought the chance of that pushing up was pretty high. Because it come there, yeah. I did put an order above there, if you remember, then I got rid of it when it started going sideways. Because at any point, this could break out of this range, which means down as well. So when we had that bearish bar, it triggered and started pushing up, it started going sideways, and then that appeared. I'm thinking, is it coming down? 67.5 target long, 67.5. 67.5, you're up here somewhere, are you? It's the trouble is with trade, it's not black and white. There's such a lot of grey area, and I think at some point you've also got to make your own decisions. Does it, Matt talks about second entries, and he also talks about visual second entries. So sometimes if something visually looks good, I think it's, if you're confident, I think it's okay to take it. Summer trading also CL. It's funny you should say that, Lofi. I was watching Thomas Wade's, was it his video before last, and right at the end of it, he shown little clips, didn't he, or little screenshots, and I noticed the seal was on it. Is that oil? Is it the seal? I'm not too sure. He looked at the NQ, and yeah, I noticed that one because it said the 500 tick chart, which I thought was quite small. So he's starting to look at other things. I think it's okay to look at other things, whether you want to trade those as well. I know currency traders will look at multiple different charts and trade them. Now, granted, if you're trading on an hour chart, it's a piece of cake, isn't it? Because you can have 20 minutes to decide whether you want to take a trade or not. I tend to only trade the one. I've considered trading the NQ, but the bit that confuses me is the point system. I'm used to this and how this works, but the points, there's like about 5 ticks for every one here. It's not as straightforward to put it 1 tick above the signal bar. You've got to zoom in, and what you think it's 1 tick. It's surprising that it can move around. So I tend to use that for confirmation. I have the 4,000 tick chart, which has given me a slightly bigger version of this, and also the NQ as well, which gives me a different perspective. Because what I have noticed is if the NQ falls, the ES follows it, so they sort of work hand in hand. I don't understand quite how, but yeah, just about the 4,000. Yeah, I did. So I thought I'd get the 4,000 up as well. The thing about the 4,000, it's sort of half as slow as this, isn't it? So, sometimes when markets are moving fast and very volatile, Max said to me in the past, you're naturally constantly looking for something to make things better, easier, give you more information, make the trades easier. And he said it's perfectly natural. It's perfectly natural. You don't learn to drive and then drive exactly like the driving instructors taught you for the rest of your life, do you? You find your own way of doing things. You find what suits you. So we've got a channel down, we've got a break and a new low. We're touching this sort of area, so you'd expect it probably to bounce there. So this just gives you maybe a slightly cleared up picture. Nasdaq similar to stocks on the S&P. Yeah, I don't really know, to be fair, mate. But I know it helps me make better decisions. And that decision there, normally that will be a little bit far away for me. But the fact that we've had 2 pushes up, I think is makes me consider it. But then this made me consider it even more. We got a perfect touch, and we got 3 bars there, once, twice, 3 bars, and then a drop. So that tells me I would take that trade. So if I would take that, why wouldn't I take that? As long as the picture's similar. It's not quite as high and close to this, but I think it was still. Google told me that. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's in the perfect place to come down, and exactly what he did. 1, 2, 3 big red bars, and that worked a treat. Came straight down, no issues. So I think it's good. I don't follow everything it says, but another reason I take it is sometimes the picture on here can be a bit confusing, and I'm thinking, am I trading in the right direction, or should I leave it alone? Then sometimes having a different perspective, sometimes this is a lot more of a more clear understanding picture. So leg down, new low. So are we going up or coming down some more, or are we ranging? There is a possibility we're ranging there, see? The range on the NQ at the moment, it's very neat along the top. It's not there, so that's another reason. May take a short that I might not take there. Let's see if it works. See how this one finishes. There's a lower high there. We're stuck above the EMA at the moment, see? So, see, with this, I wouldn't normally, I wouldn't draw that as a range, but this is a perfect range. So you would think it would be likely push up, down, to come down.
Order filled.
Now that's a bit bigger than I would normally take, but I think what I'm seeing here, there's a fair chance this is going to come down. It's a big ass bar there. But based on what I'm seeing here, we've hit two tops, so this is coming down. Now, I'm not trading because I think it's a great trade. I wouldn't trade it's a bigger bar. I'm just trying to prove a point that, let's see if this is giving us more information than we've hit 4 times here, 3 times here. I think there's a fair chance we're coming down to at least this level. So if this comes down, let's see if this done. They almost look identical with the exception of it's a little bit uneven there compared to here. Personally, I would prefer another touch on the bottom before I would take a short, but I'm more just sometimes that's a good idea with this sim. It gives you a chance to sort of try a few things out. So there's a failure there. So that's interesting. Let's see how that finishes. That's broke above there. See if that comes down. See, there's a possible failure there. I wouldn't necessarily go, mind you, leg up, 2 pulls back. You might do some at a break at a new low. Pull up 2 legs back and up again. This looks slightly more bearish to me. Yeah. Oh. This is a lot more clearer range than this is. I wouldn't have even drawn any range there. We've hit once there, and once there. I got my tracing. Yeah, you take it easy, bud. Second entry long, you think there? Possibly, but the way this is triggered, this is coming down. I wouldn't want to be going long there. Not that it's not going to work. But if that breaks below there, I can see that coming down towards the bottom. So that would take us down to the bottom. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see, I'd have never have gone short on this picture.
Stub filled.
So, visual sexy, you'd have gone along there. Yeah, I'd have been nervous to do that because of this. So that's took me out for an extra tick, isn't it? Let's have a look at this. Maybe a bit of an overshoot here. Uh, 3.75 is that? Yeah, that was a big ass bar, wasn't it? Is that 65? Yeah, 60. So 4.5 points that was. it is useful to play around with these. I've tried trading this a bit on the sim again, but I just can't get my head around the points. Let's see what goes here. Isn't it weird? That took me out for a tick. A tick? So I'm pretty sure I'd give it an extra tick, did I not? Or did I? I did. No, I can't. And I thought I'd give it an extra tick. I got, okay. Got a channel up there. Second entry long there. That's interesting.
Order submitted.
Leg up. Break. High or low. Let's see how that finishes.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Is it actually coming down to this bottom? If it breaks below that lot, for sure. So it took me out for a tick. So leg. See, if this comes out the bottom, I'm surprised that took me out there for a tick, because it was a genuine trade. That's if this comes down. Okay, so perhaps this is just 2 legs back and then we're pushing up. So we got a leg up, 2 attempts to go lower. If we push up strongly above the EMA there, I might be interested in that. It is good to have an experiment some days with a sim, especially playing this as well. See how things work with this. Let's see if that pushes up strong. It may do.
Order submitted.
Starting to here. If that pushes up above the EMA, I'll jump all over that. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, now that's looking nice.
Order
filled. For that to trigger. So we got a leg up, 2 attempts to go lower, push through the EMA. When I use a sim, I trade 10 contracts so I can get mentally prepared. That's a good point, actually. It's a good point. Does make you look bloody effective, doesn't it, when you win a trade? Yeah, it does. Yeah, I dropped it in early, to be fair, mate. It was that nicer looking trade. I should have waited for it to trigger. But we got this leg up, 2 attempts to go low, and a strong push up. It is a bit congested, though, to be fair, but I'd expect that to work. In fact,
order submitted.
Yeah, I like the idea of getting mentally prepared, so I'm just going to drop another order in there. It'll make me look doubly as good. That's if it works. Actually, I should probably put it above there, really, shouldn't I? This is coming down, isn't it? Leg up. One attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, failure. Yeah, it is. This is coming down. Let's cancel that one out.
Order stop filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Right, let's see if this comes, how far this comes down to the bottom. I am getting a bit silly here, but I'm just playing this at the moment. Leg. Just goes to show you how easy it is just to get mixed up and trapped, doesn't it? Let's put that there. 7, 8, 9, 2.25. Let's go for the 10 ticks. So we got a leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go on a failure. Just shows, doesn't it? You think, oh, we're going long, so you jump in, then, oh, we're going short, so you jump in. 2ES, $6.20, MES. Yeah, it is. That's the thing. Someone told me they were doing what were they doing? 10. They wanted to do micros, so they decided to do 10 micros, and I put, okay, so how are you splitting up? He went, how do you mean? I went, well, are you doing like 7 on a what's it? And he went, no, I'm just trading them all together. And I said, well, why are you trading 10 micros? You might as well just trade one mini. So I wonder how many people are doing it. I wonder how many people do that. Crazy, isn't it? I wonder how many people do that. Just goes to show you how it can chop you up. Leg down. So you think it's coming down, so you sell. Takes you out. You think it's going up, so you buy. And it's how you get sucked in. I mean, I'm only on a sim, but you can see how these markets suck people in, and, you know, they think, oh, yeah, here we go. Down we're coming, and all of a sudden you jump in and it goes the other way, and it literally just goes up, takes you out, comes down, takes you out, goes up, takes you out. I'm not letting it get me this time, even though it is a sim. But you can see how it does chop you up. So we had these 2 legs down. All right, granted it didn't trigger, but we got a leg up. 2 legs down. You'd be thinking up. But it is really just chopping around. Whipsaw, yeah, it is frustrating, isn't it? Yeah, it's weird. You see it going up, so you buy. It comes down. You see it coming down, so you sell. Comes up. You see it going up, so you buy. It is frustrating how it works. It's very, very efficient at making people's lives miserable, isn't it? What time is it? I'm going to have a short day today, I think. So, is this looking like a penguin? We got a leg up and a break. Made 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher, failure. Are we going to fail and push through the EMA? In which case, I'd expect this to come down, because this now is starting to look like the top of a trading range. It's dangerous to trade this, isn't it? None trades for you yet. So you're about 60 to 70. 60 to 65, yeah. Okay, excuse me a second. I'm just going to have a quick bathroom break. Don't stress if you see me away from the screen. It's only a sim, this. I'm just doing a little bit of a, I don't know, comparing the two. So excuse me just for a minute. Okay. Yeah, it is really choppy, isn't it? Could do anything, really. Yeah, whipsawed. Just goes to show what sort of range is it working in. So it's about 10 points, isn't it, from top to bottom? Okay, we've had this push up. We've made 2 attempts to go high and push through, so I think there's a good chance it's going to come down to the bottom here, I'd say. Just more interesting to see how it works on here. It's very similar. Hate it when it's trading like this. It's just going up and down in a small bit. It's just so annoying. Which bank account do you use for payouts in the UK? I have mine go into Revolut. No reason. It used to get paid into, what was it called? What did they used to use? Before Plane, it's Plane now. So you sign up to Plane, Wise, yeah, it used to be Wise. So it used to go into Wise, but when it went into a UK bank like Barclays or something, Barclays would take the exchange rate, so you would lose about 2%, something ridiculous. So if $1,000, it'd be ridiculous. So I opened up a Revolut account, and at the time I paid about £10 a month, and that gave me unlimited currency exchange at current market rate. So effectively, all I will be paying then is $10 a month, which is better than 2 or 3%, which is ridiculous. But at the moment, it's going into a Plane account, and Plane will pay you. And there's no fee, I don't think. Or did I pay last time? I paid about $6. It's nothing. So it's much better Plane. So yeah, just when you sign up to your Plane account, just go in and just put your UK bank in it, whatever it is, Barclays, Lloyds, whatever. And it usually takes about 24 to 48 hours to put it in. So it's actually much better now. It's with Plane, because there was a bit of an issue at the time. They swapped around for a couple of places, didn't they? Yeah, the first one, just check. PLANE, I think. Where is it? Yes, PLANE. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's mine there. Plane account. And then they automatically send it to your UK. It's all right. There's nothing. Everything's blocked off up there. So, and the link to Santander. Yeah, I think what you do is Apex sends you an invite, or the Apex contacts Plane, and Plane send you an invite. So if you haven't had an invite, contact Apex and say, "Can I have an invite to Plane?" And they send you an invite. You go in, just put all your details in, your personal details, and what bank, UK bank you would like it to go in, and that's it. It's all done. It's pretty straightforward. Oh, this is frustrating. This is fine. It's not anytime, mate. Anytime. Any messages you ever want, you can always private message me as well. I got no issues, mate. I can talk shop all day long. So leg down, leg up, leg up. So it starts to look like it might test this, but at the moment I'm more just playing around at the moment, because those 2 evals are passed. I'm hoping if we get that when the offer expires midnight Eastern time tonight, I hope that they bring in the 80% off one day to pass. If that's the case, these two will be ready to go tomorrow. So I'm more just doing a bit of experimenting at the moment, really, just to sort of just to share this works in conjunction with this.
Stop filled.
Are we going to pop out there or come back? Okay, I think I'm going to knock on the end there today anyway. I'm going to have an early day today. How long have we been going? An hour? An hour and 45 minutes. That's not too bad. But yeah, just a sim today. These two have passed, so I've just been playing around a bit, trying a few things, and just... but I'd say start looking at this. Just, it gives you extra confirmation. It helps you make better decisions. Now, normally, I would have preferred those two legs up, that bearish bar closer to the MA, but it was right on the key entry point there, and we've had 3 touches, so it made me take that, and it worked. So it helps you get into some trades and keeps out of bad trades. So it's useful, that, but just use it, experiment with it, just, you know, see what picture it's showing here when you're taking your trade, but it'll help you get in and out, you know, hopefully stay out of bad trades and maybe just, you know, stop you missing better trades. So more of just a playing around day to day, a little bit of experimenting and so on and so forth. So hopefully if we get this offer overnight, I'll be able to use these tomorrow. But failing that, I'm just, as you can see, I've just done 1 micro each, just to count the day. So that's it for today. Shortish day today, just a bit of playing around today. It is nice sometimes to get onto a sim and just, you know, practice a few things or try and compare a few things and see how things work. So if you're trading, if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, I will be back same time tomorrow. So bye for now.